Austria-Hungary's struggle during World War I is a tale of turmoil, mismanagement, and missed opportunities. But why didn't Austria-Hungary seek peace sooner, despite the mounting difficulties? To understand this, we need to delve into the complex web of factors that influenced their decisions. In the early years of the war, the idea of surrender was almost unthinkable. The Central Powers, led by Germany, had their own vision for the war's outcome and were not ready to entertain peace talks that could undermine their strategic goals. By 1916, the war had evolved into a stalemate, with both sides entrenched and suffering immense losses. The German offer of peace at this point was not a genuine attempt to end the conflict, but rather a demand for everything they wanted in exchange for halting hostilities. Emperor Franz Joseph's death in late 1916 marked a significant turning point. His successor, Charles I, was deeply troubled by the ongoing slaughter and was determined to bring the war to an end. However, he faced a major obstacle: Germany's dominance as the leader of the Central Powers. Germany made it clear that any separate peace agreement from Austria-Hungary would not be welcomed. This left Charles with few options. Charles turned to a trusted confidant for help, his wife, Queen Zita, who was Italian. Her brother was serving in the Belgian army, and Zita reached out to him to facilitate communication with the French government. The goal was to understand what terms France would accept for peace. The French demands were straightforward recognition of Alsace-Lorraine as part of France's restoration of Belgian independence agreement to an independent Serbia cession of territory to Italy, acknowledgement of Russian control over Constantinople should it occur, and extensive internal reforms within Austria-Hungary. Charles was willing to agree to most of these terms. He was indifferent to the fate of Belgium and Alsace-Lorraine, as they didn't directly affect him. An independent Serbia was acceptable to him, though his vision for Serbia differed significantly from the French. Charles envisioned a Yugoslav kingdom under Habsburg rule, which would ensure a permanent alliance with Austria, a proposal France would never accept. The internal reforms demanded by the French were also agreeable to Charles, as he had already recognized the need for changes within the empire. The sticking points were the demands for Italian territorial gains and Russian control over Constantinople. Charles felt that Italy had not earned the right to Austrian territory, and hoped that peace negotiations would bypass this demand. He also worried that Russian expansion into the Mediterranean would challenge Austria's influence in the Balkans. Charles hoped that Britain would oppose Russian expansion and that this issue would become irrelevant. The Russian Revolution soon made this concern moot. However, the tide of the war shifted when Russia was defeated, leading some in Charles's government to believe a complete victory was still possible. This optimism, coupled with internal political dynamics, led to a refusal to pursue peace aggressively. The Austrian foreign minister, Count Ottokar Czernin, publicly criticized the French for prolonging the war and argued against making peace. This outspokenness only heightened tensions and led to a public disclosure of Charles's peace efforts, which angered Austria's German allies. Germany's growing power and influence meant they could impose their will on Austria-Hungary. The Treaty of Spa, for instance, placed Austrian foreign affairs under German control, further complicating any potential peace negotiations. With the failure of Charles's attempts to negotiate peace and the increasing pressures from Germany, Austria-Hungary found itself trapped in the war until its end. So why did Austria-Hungary struggle so much with making peace? The answers lie in a combination of strategic miscalculations, internal political dynamics, and the overwhelming influence of Germany. Despite Charles's sincere efforts to end the war and the complex negotiations that followed, Austria-Hungary was ultimately unable to extricate itself from the conflict until it was too late. I hope this provides a clear understanding of why Austria-Hungary did not seek peace sooner during World War I. If you enjoyed this exploration of historical events, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. A special thanks to my patrons for their support. James, Bize, Kelly, Moneymaker, Sky Chappelle, Kitka, Udan, Wang, Anthony, Beckett, YN Hockey, Marcus Arner, Captain Pio, Gustav Swan, The Whopper, Alex Schwinn, Marvin, CAU, Winston, Kwai, Shannon, Andy McGee, AF Firefly, Spinning 3 Plates, Spencer Lightfoot, Kim and Yun, Maggie Paskowski, Remco Hoyman, Coppertone, Jim Stromberg, Calling Dr. Howard, Dr. Fine, Dr. Howard, Charles, I Miss, ISIT, and Words About Books podcast. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.